In contemporary society, there's so many complex public policy issues that we face here in Texas and in the U.S. and beyond. And one of the advantages of being at the Bush School is the opportunity to gain the knowledge and skills that you need to go out and tackle some of those problems.
Having the Bush School education makes me a much better policy analyst, a much better thinker, and a much better researcher. So now that I have the skills that I attained at the Bush School, I'm really able to be very thorough, to incorporate stakeholder input, and I think to do a better job day in and day out.
The Bush School helped me really focus and take my education to another level. In the professional world, you do your tasks day in and day out, but the Bush School taught me where to get the most important information, how to research, how to find data, and then how to bring that all together and apply it to my work.
One of the ways the Bush School does this is through a fairly intensive curriculum that addresses a lot of these issues in the classroom. So we do a lot of applied projects with our students. It's not simply reading books and memorizing facts, it's actually trying to tackle and address some of these questions. The capstones for the Public Service and Administration program, it's a year-long course, 2-semester course, in which the students begin to develop some understanding of a problem and then actually address it typically in the second semester. And I think one of the unique features of this is that these capstones involve clients. In other words, they're organizations, agencies, actors who come to the Bush School and say, here's a problem we have, can you help us solve it? And we unleash this team of high energy, strongly motivated, really well-equipped students to do just that.
Our capstone was focused on the Texas Rainy Day Fund. We wanted to see how that had been used in the past and how it has grown since it was first created, and we were really interested in seeing what sort of things happen on the outside that were affecting whether or not that does get used.
Just that real-world experience is something that can be very hard to get in an academic setting, and so to be able to work for a real-world client and then take those skills learned on that project and apply them to my job now, I think was exceedingly helpful in my career.
One of the things the Bush School has done is assemble a faculty from around the country. Actually, we have several international faculty as well who really are cutting edge in their fields. So they're not just standing up there lecturing out of a textbook. These are the folks who are actually doing the research and writing those textbooks.
I felt like I learned a lot from those professors who they challenge you on not just what it is you think, but why you think that way, and it really reinforces the way it is that you look at the world, and it's very helpful.
I think the Bush School is training the next generation of leaders. They need to be adaptable and being able to build consensus, and I think that is exactly what the Bush School does. I think Washington really needs that as a whole, no matter when you're in the nonprofit, public sector, you have so many people coming from different ideas, and you need to be able to learn from one another and figure out what's the best means for the American people.
From an employment standpoint, we are very fortunate that throughout the history of the Bush School, within 6 months of graduation, 90% of our students are typically employed. And even more incredibly is that 75% of them are typically employed in the public sector.
Only a few years ago, the Bush School did not have a big presence in state government, and only within the past few years have we seen so many Bush School graduates go into state government and make an impact. We have one graduate that is a commissioner at a statewide agency. We have graduates leading committees in the House and the Senate. We have graduates that are chief of staff, graduates that are policy analysts, and they're all doing really great substantive work for the state of Texas, and that is so exciting to me.
The Bush School has provided us with this great opportunity of working in the Texas legislative session. We're getting to apply the policy and theory we learned in class to practical policy making and seeing how it has a real life impact on the lives of Texans.